food markets only.
Meet Susie Smart, she is so bright. On her blackboard you can write. She has a desk, she has a seat. What's your name, my darling sweet?
My name is Susie Smart.
She can talk!
She can talk, but can she add?
2 plus 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T.
You can spell!
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
You recite!
Press the button, she says a dozen things, complete with desk, blackboard, and seat. Susie Smart, sold at food markets only.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not gonna try it. You try it. I'm not gonna try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
You don't mind hanging back? You're jamming my frequencies.
You're sick, man. You're sick.
Good morning, cats and kittens, pups and pooches. It's the Deadbeat Club with Susie Q96. And I got to finish cleaning off my desk because I got a bunch of paperwork I got to do this weekend. And I got to maybe even start a legal defense fund. Who knows? I'm going to be talking to a local television station. Well, not local. Roanoke, that's the closest we have to local. That's 2 hours away. But yeah, anyway. We going to play with some pennies this morning. I got to finish this horrible box. I have a whole nother box, but we're not going to start it right away. And then I got 3 rolls of nickels, and then I got to clear all these loose coins off my desk so I can do secretarial type things. Hope everybody's awake here on Saturday morning. I see Mikey's already had his fried egg sandwich. Bot's not awake. It's awake now. It finally woke up. It's just a little slow. It hadn't had its egg sandwich yet. Mikey didn't share. Hi, Mike the Greek. I guess maybe y'all noticed in the past 4 days, I have had 1K and then knocked back down, and had 1K and knocked back down, and had 1K and knocked back down. Well, I had 1K when I got up this morning at 6:30, but now it's back to knocked back down. I don't know why YouTube hates me so much, but they're I'm telling you, they're messing with me. They just won't let me keep my 1K. So, oh well. My birthday's next Friday. We'll see what happens then. So, where I left off last night, I had a few rolls of pennies left yesterday, and I just started looking at them, not looking at the anomalies and errors. I just went through a couple of the rolls real quick and looked for Wheaties and that kind of thing, and we did turn up a couple of Lincoln Life series and one more Wheatie. This has been like the worst. This truly is the worst box I have ever searched. I've got 3 rolls left, and I've turned up 5 Wheaties, I think 3 or 4 of the Lincoln Life series, and 1 Canadian penny, and 1 possible die crack. We're not sure about that one, but that's it in this whole box. So anyway, I've got to do a bunch of paperwork in the next few days in regarding to my living situation. So I got to clear all this stuff off my desk. So, and I need watch time. So I figured I will just come on here and start going through the rest of these pennies. And I have some nickels and just some assorted. Come on, lock into place. There you go. Some assorted coins that I don't know what they are. So over the course of the day, I'm going to try to clear all that off my desk. We were looking for a wide AM on that one. Shield pennies I don't even look at. Nothing on 94 that I'm interested in. So while I do this, I've been lying around a lot because I've been sick with influenza A and then COVID-19. They all got to have alphabets and letters and crap attached to them. It's like we're making soup for little kids. Well, in the course of that, every once in a while when I'm watching videos, I'm kind of a grammar and spelling Nazi, I guess, because my English was one of my best subjects in school. And every once in a while I'll hear a word and I'm like, when did they invent that word? Or I'll hear a word being used and I'm like, when I was growing up, that meant something completely different. But one of the ones that gets me, I don't understand. Maybe someone can explain it. Heading to the Orlando Collect-A-Coin show. Oh, cool. He's going to my hometown. I grew up in Orlando before there was a Disney World and all that fancy stuff, back when I was old. But anyway, one of the words that I hear all the time now, and I don't understand why there was a need to invent this word because there was already a word. Back when I was growing up, if you were going to sit down and talk to another person, you were going to converse with them, which is short for conversation. Converse. Now they have created this word that means the same thing as converse, except it takes longer to say and it sounds, I don't know, it just does not sound right to me. Conversate. Why do we need the word conversate? The word is converse. Can anybody explain that one to me? Why you would invent a word that was longer and harder to say that means the same thing as you already have a word for? It's not a bad looking 65. I don't really need it. So I'll just put it in the copper hopper. But yeah, that word bugs the heck out of me. Conversate. What, are you eating the conversation? I don't know. Yeah, you got that right, Mark. I already ranted on that. I already been on my soapbox. Another copper for the hopper. But yeah, what is the point? I don't get that word. Conversate. You already have a word for that. It's called converse. Makes me crazy. It does. It just makes me crazy. And then there's words that people use now And it meant something very different, and they wonder why they'll use these words in public, and older people, which they like to call us boomers, like it's a bad thing. But older people will look at them like, what did you just say? And one of those words is ball or balling. Now, I don't know the ages of all the people in my room, but I would guarantee that that word means something different to Mikey than it does to maybe Mark Thomas. But in the 60s, if you said you were going to go out balling, that meant you were going to go out and have sex with somebody. Or if you said somebody was a baller, that meant they were somebody that was going out looking for somebody to have sex with. That's not what they use that word for now. So if you're a millennial or, in that range, and you use that word and some older person gives you a weird look, that's why you're getting that weird look. Because you wouldn't have really been making an appropriate statement in a fancy restaurant to use that word. The other thing that bugs me, and I'm actually almost thinking about starting a business, is when I did it the other day. I had a misspelling in the title of my video. I made a typo and I didn't catch it. But a lot of times I will see a video that the subject looks interesting, but there's 2 or 3 words misspelled in the title of the video. So I don't watch it. And the reason I don't watch it is if the person making the video doesn't care enough to make sure that the name of the video is spelled correctly. Yeah, maths. That's another one. I was going to bring that up. Maths. Math is plural, just like deer. I'll see people post all the time about deers, Deers. No, deer. But it bothers me. I don't want to watch a video if I see that the title or the things on the thumbnail are misspelled, especially if it's an informational video that's supposed to be teaching me something. How can you teach me something you can't even spell? I had a gig one time. I worked for county government for a large county down in Florida. And I worked in a division called coastal management, which was in charge of taking care of all the beaches. It was a great gig. I loved it. And we got a bunch of federal grants, and so we were going to be doing many more projects protecting sea turtles and protecting the coastline in general. And for that reason, they told me I was going to need to hire an assistant. And I said, what type of assistant? I didn't know, did they want me to hire somebody to help me printing aerial photos, or did they want me to hire a clerical person? So they said, well, you need to hire a secretary because you're not going to be the secretary anymore. You're getting bumped up to engineering tech. So they said, but you're going to have to interview the secretarial candidates because you know what skills they are going to require to file for federal permits and funding and things like that. Well, all those civil service jobs require you take an examination. And then they sent me the list of the scores of the people that passed the secretarial examination. And of course, a lot of those were not engineering specific, they were just general people with general secretarial skills, and that was fine. I would just as soon train them myself. But so they give me this list and this stack of applications, and it's 147 people, both male and female. And I didn't really care as long as they could do the job. I don't care. So the first thing I did, because I'm like, okay, I got to whittle this list down. I can't, interview 147 people. So first thing I did was go through the stack, and anybody who could not spell secretary, I threw them out. You cannot be what you cannot spell. I'm not going to hire you to be a secretary if you can't spell secretary. 40-something people misspelled the word secretary on their application. So then I went through and eliminated anybody that could not spell clerical, as in clerical duties, secretarial duties. Got rid of about 10 more that way. Then I started on the real simple part, like where you list your educational background. If you could not provide the name of the school you went to and the address, you can't work in my office. So I got rid of about another 25 of them there. By the time I just went through the applications, removing the spelling errors and the ones who did not fill the application out completely, even though they passed the test. I don't know how they passed the test, truthfully, but this was a job where you had to fill out paperwork for the federal government to get $20 billion loans and grants. You make one mistake on there and you could cost your county $20 billion. So I can't have this. I just can't. So by the time I got done going through all of them for simple things like they don't know how to spell, they don't know where they went to school, they were too lazy to look up the phone number of their last employer so that you could call and get a reference. By the time I got done, that 147 person stack of applications was down to 3. There were 3 people that I actually set up interviews for. The first one showed up 45 minutes late, wearing cut-off jeans and flip-flops because she figured, oh, it's beach related, so I can just wear anything I want. No, honey, that's not how it works. So I did finally find a wonderful candidate, but yeah. If you and people now, they say, well, I can't find a job. Well, I see these posts all the time on my local Facebook forum, and it'll say, I can't find a job. CAINT. I can't find a job. Well, that's why you can't find a job, because you can't spell can't. But I see this all the time on like titles of YouTube videos, and some of them I realize they're doing it as a joke, but most of them just simply can't spell. And I'm not going to watch their video because I'm not going to learn anything. I don't want to try to learn anything from someone that cannot spell the name of what their video's about. So I've been thinking maybe I should start a business where you pay me $5, I watch your video, I go through and tell you all your spelling errors and things so you can fix it before you upload it. And then the other day I did one, but I granted I am legally blind in one eye, and I would get it on my phone, and I was called out on it too. Hey, you spelled collecting wrong. Yeah, I did. I made a typographical error. But some of them, there might be some really good stuff in those videos, and I'll never see it, and a lot of other people won't see it because the production part of it has horrible spelling errors. And another place I see it a lot is online games that have commercials for other online games. And you can tell whoever made it, English was their second language. And there will be terrible grammar and terrible spelling. And you're trying to get me to pay money for your app? Lisa Corley! Oh my God! Everybody, this lady right here, Lisa Corley, I have known since, I'm going to say, junior high. Her husband and I grew up together in the old teen center rock and roll band era, and he was in a drum and bugle corps with my older sister. So yeah, Lisa's one of my Florida people, and I haven't seen her for a long time. Yeah, that might get you in trouble, Mikey. Put Mrs. Roberts instead of Mr. Roberts on your paper that you wrote for your class. Yeah, right, Mark. If you install their app right now, they'll give you 1 billion trillion coins. Of course, we don't know what kind of coins, but they're going to give you some. So yeah, I'm just killing time today, Lisa. I've got to clear all of this junk off of my desk so I can work on that issue with the management company. My desk is so tiny, I don't have room for coins and paperwork at the same time. See, Mikey, that's all the more reason that you need to have somebody proofread stuff like that. If you're up cramming that stuff at 2 in the morning and you're tired, it is so easy to make a mistake and not catch it. But it's different if you're doing a piece of software that's going to be released and you're trying to get people to buy your game for $9.99 or $25 or whatever it is. You need to really check and make certain your spelling is correct and your grammar is correct. Another one of the ones that bothers me, and I see it more and more, is, and this is kind of a U.S. thing, but when somebody writes the price down and they put $20 and they put 20 and then the dollar sign after the 20, That's something I guess they picked up from Europe, putting the euro sign at the end, but that's not correct for the US. And it messes up computer programs when you do it too. I had somebody going, I don't understand why this is not recording properly in my Excel spreadsheet and it won't sort, and that's because you're putting the dollar sign after the number instead of before, and that's not the way US money is set up in an Excel spreadsheet. So she had basically done all this work for nothing, and or she thought nothing. Fortunately, I knew how to go in and change it all. But some of these things, I just don't know where they're coming from. But yeah, the one that really gets me is when they use that term ball or balling, and they don't understand why older people are looking at them like, why are you talking about sex in the middle of the restaurant? Because that's not what it means to young people now. But when we were growing up, that's what it meant. So when you're going back and listening to 60s music and you hear that term, they're not talking about living the high life. They're talking about something completely different. Oh, there was nothing in that batch. So we'll see. Got 2 more rolls here. Get them off my desk. We'll write up a little final. Oh, and I may be closer to finding my low-income housing in Michigan. Yeah, I've been on the subsidized housing list for some different apartments going on 2 years now. And now it's getting critical because I need to get up there for treatment. Well, I got an email back from one yesterday that most of them aren't even taken applications. And so I got a letter back from one yesterday. It's not in the super duper best area, but it's certainly not in an area that I would refuse to live in. And they informed me that they are now taking applications and that their waiting list is down to 2 to 4 months. And for me to call their office on Monday. So in addition to this other situation I have going on about the inspectors wanting to come in without wearing masks, even though my doctors have very specifically outlined, and it's posted on my door, that because of my autoimmune disorders and my recent battle with COVID, that they need to wear masks and gloves, and they don't think they need to. So I got to fight them on that. But in the interim, I do have some good news on, that other one may become available soon. So I could be moving anyway, which is wonderful. And so I am going to explain to the lady about the need for me to get to University of Michigan in a timely manner, because it's going to take about a month just to get my insurance switched over to Michigan. In the meantime, I can still go. They just won't pay for everything because the Medicare part of mine will cover 80%, and then we can retroactive the rest of it. So, Spikin, hi honey, how are you? How you doing? Okay, well, I just went through this roll right here, and I'm not going to search them for all the anomalies right now. I just went through to see if there were any Wheaties or anything like that. And then I have a little tub that I'm going to put these in, and I'll go through them and sort the copper and that stuff later, because I've really got to clear this desk. And I pretty much have today to get everything ready, because tomorrow all day I'm going to be doing paperwork. I did not get to go on my metal detecting adventure yesterday because our weather decided to do a change on us. And even though it said it was in the mid to upper 50s outside, we had 20-mile-an-hour winds, and with the wind chill, it was down to 40. And it had rained on Thursday, so I guess where we were supposed to go had turned into mud. So we did not go. So later this afternoon, I'm going to run the little putt-putt car down to my storage to put some things in. And I'm going to take my detector, because there is a school down there that I haven't detected for a while. And I'm just going to go through the tot lot real quick. That's probably about how much energy I'm going to have anyway. I just want to, and that's dependent on how the weather is. I can't catch a break on weather. We've been having a lot of high wind and a lot of rain. And I don't mind cold so much, but cold with wind, I can't be out in that for much. This is the last roll of the pennies. Right now I'm just flipping them over to see if any of them are Wheaties, and pulling out the shield pennies. And then I'll go back through them later for the secret hidden treasures, the secret herbs and spices or whatever. But at least this will allow me to get them off my desk. Because like I said, when I went to the bank the other day, I was not planning on getting another box, because I really don't have time to do them right now. But the gal saw me coming, and before I even was able to tell her I didn't want one, she already had it out of the safe and up on the counter. So I went ahead and brought it home, because, I mean, who can leave an orphan box of pennies sitting on the counter? So I had to have it. Had to bring it home. All right, well, I put them in the bucket. I guess I am going to have to go through these, though, because I can't do the box wrap up until I do. Did think about that. So, give me a minute to refresh my beverage and grab a cookie, and then we will go back to this bunch of pennies looking for boo-boos. What the heck? I didn't think that all the way through, did I? Ooh, turn the fan on, too. I'm back. Mr. Eller, are you still in the house? I got a Michigan question. Yes, he is. All right, Mr. Eller. I know you're actually more over in the Detroit area, but what, if anything, do you know about Burton? Now, I do know Burton butts up to Flint on one side, but then on the other side, it butts up to Grand Blanc, and Grand Blanc's a pretty nice area. And then on the other side, it's kind of close to Davison, which also isn't a bad area. So, anyway, the place I'm looking at right now that has a much shorter waiting list is in Burton, and it doesn't look like it's sitting right on Flint. It looks like it's actually closer to Davison. So, just in general, I mean, I remember going to Burton a few times, but I don't really know anything much about Burton. Doesn't seem like it's a totally unsafe area. And it does have public transportation, both in the form of city buses and the Your Ride, what I call the short bus. So anyway, that's where I'm kind of looking at right now. Shorter waiting list. Yeah. I'm just asking everybody I see that I know is from Michigan if they have any knowledge of that area. Just feeling it out. But the way I look at it, most of the reviews that I have read about this particular place look okay. And at least then I would be there and be able to get started on my treatment. And if I really hate it, I can immediately start getting on waiting lists for other areas. So, ooh, 74S. We got an S. Don't hardly get S pennies. That one doesn't even look too bad. So we'll put that over in the keepers because this box hasn't had much of anything. And the other thing, Burton's not that far from Detroit, so if I do need to go back over to Henry Ford or one of those other places for some treatments besides the Ann Arbor stuff, yeah, Flint, there's even parts of Flint that aren't bad. I lived up there for a long time. I lived in Flushing, which is on the other side of Flint and north of the ways. And there were a few parts of Flint that weren't bad, but then there were some other parts. I would take the Your Ride bus rather than take my car down there because I was always afraid I'd come out and my car would be up on blocks. But yeah, I kind of looked on the map, and the place I'm looking at looks like it's closer to Davison and Grand Blanc, and those are both pretty good areas, Grand Blanc particularly. So, but yeah, I'm just asking everybody that I know is in Michigan if they have any experience with that area. I mean, I kind of know what parts of the of Genesee County to stay out of. I lived there for 6 years. So I kind of learned. I mean, the first time I rode the bus through Genesee County, um, I was on the bus and I sent my brother a text, and we were going through Flint, and I had never seen anything as bad as Flint. And I mean, I lived in some big cities with some really crappy areas in them, and I had never seen anything so bad. And I sent my brother a message that said, if you look in the dictionary under the term urban blight, you will see a photograph of Flint. I said, man, this is worse than Detroit. And they thought I was kidding. But then next trip that I had taken to Detroit, I showed them the worst place I went by in Detroit. They were like, yeah, Flint's worse. And at the time, Flint had just passed Detroit as the #1 murder area. I'm like, yeah. But Flint's been making some progress in certain areas. Downtown's actually pretty nice. Just like they're doing with Detroit. Downtown Detroit is much improved. I saw some photos not too long ago of some of the improvement projects they're working on. I have a friend that lives in Detroit. He plays a lot of music around there, all kinds of car shows and stuff. Band called Benny and the Jets. They've been around since, actually, I think before the Elton John song came out. It was actually from a comic book, if I remember right. But anyway, yeah, my friend Benny, he posts a lot of photos of the restoration projects going on in Detroit. And oh yeah, Fort Wayne has really gone downhill. I went to Fort Wayne a while back because they have a really, really good genealogical library there that I needed to do some research in. And it was starting to go to heck then. And that was, I'm going to say, 6 years ago. Yeah, I've heard it's gotten really, really bad. No, James is in Detroit. So he's kind of in suburban Detroit. And I used to have to go to Detroit periodically for some medical things that they also offered in Ann Arbor. But if I couldn't get an appointment quick enough in Ann Arbor, they would put me on a little shuttle and send me over to Detroit. So one time they sent me to Detroit. All right, Mikey. One time they sent me to Detroit, and I guess this bus driver hadn't done that run before. And he messed up and got on the Ambassador Bridge. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Ambassador Bridge runs between Detroit and Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Well, this guy took us on a little side trip across the bridge, and then when you get to a certain point, we kept telling him he needed to turn because he was going to get us on the bridge. And once you get on the bridge, You got to wait till you get all the way to the other side to turn around. Well, he didn't want to listen, Mr. Know-It-All, so we went to Windsor briefly. I mean, we didn't go into Windsor, but we went across the bridge, and then he had to turn around. But those of us on the bus kept telling him, you have like 2 or 3 exits. I don't remember exactly how many, but there's multiple exits that they tell you, at a certain point, you're going to end up in Canada if you don't get off this road. Well, he didn't want to get off. That's pretty funny, actually. But this one poor old lady, she thought she was going to get arrested for being in Canada without a passport. And you can't explain stuff when you got like senile people. This was a bus full of medical patients. Well, those buses have GPS on them. And we told the guy, and there's big giant signs that tell you, that like it's the last exit. If you don't get off here, you're going to Canada. He didn't want to pay any attention to us or the signs, and he was on his phone arguing with his girlfriend or something, so he wasn't paying any attention to what the heck he was doing. It was something. So we were all late to our appointments. And like I said, this one old lady, she was just freaked out. And I understand, because if you've never taken one of those medical transit buses before, it can be a little scary if you're going far away from where you live. It's about 80 miles from my house, but I had been on there before, so I knew the guy had made a wrong turn, and I told him, I said, dude, that's not how you get to St. Mary's. And he said, well, I'm not going to St. Mary's first. I said, well, where are you going? He said, Henry Ford. And I said, well, that's not how you get to Henry Ford either, because I'd been to both of those places. And I think it's St. Mary's. It was a place where they have dental stuff. I think that was the name of it. But anyway, he didn't want to listen. And oh, that poor old lady, though, she was so freaked out. She thought she was going to go to jail. And I was like, ma'am, they're just going to turn the bus around and point it back to Detroit. You're not in any trouble. You didn't do anything, and you don't need a passport anyway. But that lady should have had somebody traveling with her. She was really too old to be. She was really too old to be traveling on there by herself. They allow you to have a medical aid with you or a family member. Now, me, I was fine, but this lady, I think, was probably in her 90s, and they should never have put her on that transit by herself to begin with. She was just so freaked out. And wherever it was she was going, there was somebody else going there too. So I called the place I was going and told them what was going on and that I was going to be late. And I told the driver, take these other 2 people to where it is there. I think they were going to Henry Ford, and I was going to the dentist. So, but yeah, I'm guessing that guy may have gotten fired for that little boo-boo that he made. What is that? I've lost my pointer. This is odd. What is this? Some kind of weird stain, or... I mean, I see over on this one, I understand that one, but I don't understand the shape of this. It looks like a V. Weird. Put that off to the side. Oh yeah, I had all kinds of antics when I was in Michigan. I liked Michigan. Never, never a dull moment in Michigan, that's for sure. One time, they have a thing called Your Ride, which is senior transit, smaller buses that'll take you to medical things and so forth. And I had to go to Ann Arbor. I didn't want to drive to Ann Arbor. It was in winter. And I didn't know what they were going to do to me at the doctor in Ann Arbor. So I decided to take the Your Ride bus, which meant I had to go to downtown Flint and transfer over, but that was okay. So I took the bus down. And while I was gone, it snowed some more. And so I'm going to say it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we got back. And this bus driver, usually by 2 o'clock, all the roads around where I lived had been snow plowed, all the major roads. So there's a road, it alternately called Saginaw Road or Saginaw Street. This thing runs north and south through most of Michigan. Runs parallel to I-75 and US 23. Well, the bus driver turns off Saginaw onto the road leading to my house, and she's yakking on her radio and not paying any attention. And I'm reading the book, and all of a sudden I look up and we are headed into what I'm gonna say was a 5 to 6 foot snowbank. They had not plowed that road. And she's not paying any attention, and I'm like, stop! She drove this bus right into this snowbank. Thank God there wasn't a car or anything in it. So there we are. We're stuck in a snowbank on Mount Morris Road. And Mount Morris is not an area, it's like a glorious extension of Flint. It is not an area you want to be in any vulnerable position in. And this lady has just jammed us right into this huge snowbank. And I'm like, oh my God. So whoever she was talking to on the radio, she got off of it and got on there with dispatch. They were trying to figure out how they were going to get to where we were just to dig us out. And finally, this other dude that had a farm out there came out with a little mini tractor. I don't know what to call it, but it had like a little, it was not a full-size snowplow or anything, but he managed to at least dig us out a little bit. But yeah, you never knew what was going to happen. Very first day I got my car, I got it stuck going down this farm road to my friend Q's house. Didn't even get to his house with my car before I got it jammed up in a mud hole. And my first thought was I should have bought a four-wheel drive. It took us about 2 hours to get me out of there. Okay, let's see if we got anything that looks like a DDO. DO. Everybody looks pretty crisp. I don't think there's anything there. Oh, I just want to finish these pennies. I've had them for so long. Well, when I got this box, I didn't know I was going to get the flu, and then I sure didn't know I was going to get COVID. So I've been working on this same box of pennies since before Thanksgiving. That's why I wasn't going to get another box when I went to the bank. But she saw me coming and had me set up before I could even tell her I didn't want them. So we got another box hanging out here. And of course that means I'm going to have to roll all these pennies up too. We may have a different contest this time. But that one was fun. Still can't believe Mikey got it by 1 penny. Unbelievable. But I mean, he made a very logical guess, a nice rounded $50, which would be 2 boxes of pennies. And he paid attention to the fact that virtually nothing good was found out of those boxes. They were crap boxes, so hardly any pennies were taken out. And he also paid attention that I said we had thrown in the ones that Sandy picked up off the floor. I'm giving you some clues on how to play that game. You had to pay attention to things like that. Because at the end of every box, I tell you, I found this many pennies, this many Wheaties, this many this. I tell you how much copper there was, but then I put the coppers back in. I don't save my coppers. I weigh them and tell you how many are in the box. So he obviously was paying attention. So he knew that pretty much 2 boxes of pennies were in there, and that's $50. There was no cheating involved. There was some logic involved. And there were people that were so close, but they were over. Like somebody had $50.46, I think it was. This is very close, but they still wouldn't have won because it was closest without going over. But yeah, I never in a million years dreamed somebody would get it by a penny. That was just amazing to me. I'm going to have to make it harder next time. If you're hearing crunching, it's because I'm eating a snackable. I had to take a medication that requires food units. Copper. Look for a DDODODO. Put a little music on here. It's too darn quiet in here. Oh. It may make my computer crash. Yeah, that's another thing. I gotta do some work on this computer. As Tim Allen used to say back in the old days, it needs more power. Continue trying to do live streaming with it. It just doesn't have enough go-go. Oh, no lighting. Trying to speed up now that I'm done eating. Yeah, this is one I learned about recently. I don't know how true it is, but some of the 88s are supposed to have a very bold FG initials over here. Obviously, this isn't one of them, and that's supposed to be a thing. I don't know how much of a thing that really is. I'm still working on my list to make my new penny sorting pad. I'm going to do a handmade one, custom size, to fit my desk. Okay, we're looking for a DDO. Now this is something it looks like there's doubling on the 5 until you turn the coin, and then it kind of went away. So it's more of a shadow. It wasn't an actual doubling. I cannot believe I went to 1K, and then they took me all the way back to 996, and it went back up to 114, and then they took it back to 999, and then it went back over 1K, and they have done this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all week. Every time I go over 1K, they come and take things away. And I had a screenshot when it was because I went into the analytics, and it showed 1,014, and then the next day when I got up, it showed 997. I don't get it. Leave me alone. You thieving tuds. They've made it so hard for the small channels to get monetized now. A lot of these ones that have a whole bunch of people that have been monetized for a long time, they didn't have to go through near what we have to go through. It's not fair. Oops. I've got to fix that. I'm just so mad that they keep doing that to me. Oh, yeah. I did my 666 That was almost 4 years ago when I lived in Georgia. And this is how many times they robbed me of my thousands. Enough is enough. I think the one that bothers me the most is when they take away watch hours. Well, my voice is going out. See if this is better. Okay, try that. Yeah, my voice is starting to go. Yeah, I don't like the taking away of watch hours. And the reason that I object so strongly to that is that once somebody has watched something, they can't unwatch it. They've already watched it. So they're probably not going to come back and watch it again. But the fact is, they already spent the time and watched it. So I don't think it's fair to take that away. You can't unsee it. I sort of understand them taking away subscriptions that they think may not be real accounts or something like that. But watch hours, people already watched it. Yeah, but it's not fair. Once somebody's watched it, they've watched it. They shouldn't be able to take that away. That's like saying you earned your paycheck this week, but we want you to earn a new paycheck next week, so we're going to take last week's away. I mean, I understand their logic, but it's convoluted logic. I understand them saying we want legitimate users to be subscribers. That one I get. I'm not even sure what they're doing is 100% legal. But at this point, you know, I've about given up because they're never going to let me keep my 1K. And as fast as I get watch hours, they're taking them away. So I'm about to just truly give up and just take the channel down because I can't afford to finance it totally out of my pocket. And apparently they would rather lose channels than give somebody $25 a month to keep going. And that's what happens to a lot of us small channels. We can't afford basic little things, so we give up. And I have fought now since 2019, I guess. I've actually had a channel since 2014, but 2019 is when I started putting the metal detecting and coin collecting stuff up. So I don't know. Yeah, they should give me a senior discount or something, you know, something. But it does cost money to run a channel. People say, well, it doesn't cost you anything, but yeah, it does. You still got to pay for internet. If you do giveaways, you got to pay for the postage. If you want to use anything like TubeBuddy or any of those kind of things, that costs money. Because I have more than one channel, I end up having to pay the $25 a month for StreamYard, because otherwise I'll run out of free hours. So that costs money. It's not free. You know, and then you got to have a camera, and you got to have this and that. And thank God for Mark Thomas, because he replaced the camera that I broke. But anyway, you know, they're about to force me just to shut down my channels. Not because I want to, but as much as I try, I can't get people to make donations. I give away silver every month to my Patreon sponsors, and I still only have 9 Patreon sponsors. And they're the ones that are covering the cost of the StreamYard. That's about how much money I have coming in. It covers the StreamYard. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's something I really like doing, but my wallet doesn't like it. You know? And I know that when I move to Michigan, some things are going to get more expensive for a while. It hopefully won't hit me too hard, but I know one thing: I'm going to have to get another car. My car is in sad shape. I'm not even 100% sure I'm going to be taking it with me, but we just did a lot of work on it, and I'm going to try, because I really do have one fun thing I want to do, which is take it back to the car lot I got it from and say, hey, why don't you give me our trade-in on this thing? And I got that car when I lived in Michigan. Been a good car. We shall see. Come on, give me something exciting here. Pennies are poopy pennies. Well, at least I'm starting to see the bottom of the container. I get to the end of it, I have to tally all this up, and then I can get it off my desk. I have a lot of paperwork I gotta do. I've got to print out a bunch of papers for a lawyer, a couple of letters to the management company of my apartments, application for another apartment unit that I found up in Michigan to get on that waiting list. And those things are like 36 freaking pages long, because they're all government subsidized stuff, and you have to fill in every penny of your income, outgo. It's just a complicated procedure. It's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. I'm hoping this thing in Burton works out. That would help me tremendously. some of these places I have been on the waiting list for over 2 years now. It's unbelievable. Scooby, 1970. Only 70 S's. Okay. In the couple. Oops. I was supposed to look for a wide AM on that one. Oh well. I'm sure it wasn't there, so. Probably don't make any mistake. I mean, any difference. Another 82. Oh, I don't want to do anymore, but I gotta. Copper. Copper. If I just finish the pennies, I'll be happy. Because I can clear them off the desk then. Coppers. So, anybody doing anything exciting this weekend? I know I'm not. Oh. Alright, y'all hold down the fort. I got somebody knocking on my door, which is really funny because there's a great big sign on there that says do not disturb. Yeah. So we'll be right back. You can stare at the upside down Lincoln. Okie dokie, she's back. She's back. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. That one was a package. and they just knocked on the door to let me know they were sitting it outside the door and left. So it wasn't as bad as, I got this one lady lives here. She knocked on the door yesterday. Now there's 2 signs on my door. There's one that's like a big chalkboard that says autoimmune disorders, mask and gloves required, and then optional, you know, shoe coverings are optional, but it says, you know, everything's provided, look in the basket. And there's a basket out there, has everything in it that you need to come into my unit. Next to it is a letter from my doctor requesting that you don't argue with that, just put the mask on and, you know, come whatever it is you know, if I want to let you in, I can let you in, but she'll knock anyway. This one lady, she wants to come in anyway. I don't know, maybe she can't read. I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, the whole legal thing that I've got to work on this weekend is because management says that I refused to let them in to do inspection, and that's not true. I did not refuse to let them in. I refused to let them in without putting on a mask. And I have it on video from, it's like a ring, but it's not. It's a different brand, but it's a security camera. It's on the inside of my apartment, and it clearly shows I was not at all rude to them. I just told them, I said, look, you don't have to do the rest of the stuff, but you know, you do need to wear a mask because I'm getting over COVID. And it shows all this stuff on the video. It's not, but they filled out this paper trying to evict me for saying that I refused to let them in. They don't know that I have the video. They do not know I have them on video. So they're lying their butts off. And the other thing, they started bitching about my car and said that my tags were expired, which, number one, they are not. They're good until February of next year. And number two, the only thing it says about cars in our lease is that you are not allowed to park a non-operating vehicle in the parking lot. Well, my car runs, I drive it, and it has current plates on it. So then they're saying, well, your inspection sticker's expired. I said, yeah, it is, and if you look right under it, there's an exemption notice from the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles giving me a 4-month extension because we can't find the part to fix my car. But they have no jurisdiction over any of that anyway. I pulled my lease last night and double checked. The only thing it says is that you are not allowed to park a non-operating vehicle in the parking area. Well, my vehicle operates just fine. I'm going to go out and drive it here in just a few minutes. And I'm going to make sure that I got my GoPro with me. And we're going to film a little trip where I drive down to the storage unit and put my stuff in. And they can kiss my bouquet. But yeah, I don't understand. You know, right on the video, the lady says, you know, I told him, I said, you know, you're welcome to come in, but you're going to need to wear a mask because I'm just getting over COVID. And she says, "Oh no, we don't need to come in." She says, "We know you're okay." And she says that right on the video. We don't need to come in. We know you're okay. And then last night, I found I had taken this picture back in 2021 because I was pretty appalled. This same woman had been exposed to COVID, and instead of staying home quarantined like she was told by the county that she needed to do, the people that run this place told her she needed to come to work. So she posted a thing in the laundry room that said she had been exposed to COVID, and so if she needed to do any business with her, she would be in the office, but you would need to do it by dropping papers into the mail slot or calling her on the phone, and that if you had to come in to see her in person, masks and gloves were required. Interesting, huh? To go in her space, you gotta wear them. But she thinks to go in mine, you don't. So which is it, Sweet Pea? One or the other. But I have your little note. I have a nice photograph of it where you told us we had to wear them to come see you. But then on the eviction notice, says everybody has to abide by the rules equally. Well, I guess it's everybody but her. MJ Squirrel. Howdy, howdy. Come on in. We're just looking at some dirty old pennies here. I already been through these rolls looking for Wheaties and stuff. Now I'm just looking for things like wide AMs and DDOs and ODODOs and Oreos and stuff. Just trying to clear all this mess off my desk. Looking for the wide AM and we didn't get one. But it's alright. This one we're looking for a close AM. And we didn't get one. I don't think I've ever found either one of those. So, well, welcome, welcome. We've got a lot of squirrely people here from all kinds of squirrel camps. We got some coin crew squirrels. I got squirrels from all over the place. We like squirrely people in here. Back when I used to race cars, what we used to call a squirrel was somebody didn't know what part of the track they were supposed to be running on. And you know how when a squirrel gets out in the road and it'll run this way and stop, and then it'll run that way and stop, and then it'll turn around, and then it'll run back this way. Well, that was what we called drivers that couldn't keep their cars pointed in the right direction. We called them squirrels. Just a little interesting racing fact. If you ever hear a racer refer to somebody as a squirrel, that's what they're talking about. Somebody that doesn't know which way they're going to go, so they just try to go all of them at the same time. $69 something something something. 69D. I don't think I got anything real exciting to look for on that one, but it can go in the hopper with the other copper. And we're just killing a lot of Saturday time here. Trying to clear my desk off. And then I'll be back with more coinage on Monday. Maybe before then, who knows. Let's check his ears. Nope, only got one normal one. That's the one coin I really want to find someday, is the Lincoln with the double stamped ear. Because I've only seen pictures of it. I've never actually seen one before. There's a copper. And I am no coin expert. I just play one on YouTube. Yeah, 73D. I wanted to work on my penny sorting chart this weekend, but I didn't know I was going to have to argue over something so stupid as putting on a mask to come into somebody's apartment that's just gotten over COVID. That to me just doesn't even make any sense. Common sense would tell you protect yourself, put the mask on for 5 minutes, do what you need to do, and get out. It's not an evictable offense. So now their new thing is they said, well, you didn't fill out the form for the ADA exemption. Well, I just got the letter from the doctor. I hadn't had a chance to fill out the form yet, and they had not provided me with the form yet. So we're going to have to argue about that too. I've got to find a lawyer that does things for seniors pro bono. And I have very limited time in which to do this stuff. So we may be doing this dance on TV. So if any of you live near Roanoke, Virginia, Jaji! Jaji, I've been over 1K 5 times in the last week. It'll go over 1K, and then drop back down, and then go back up and drop back down. Every time I get to 1K, they knock me back down. It's been going on all week. I think Monday night was when we had the celebration that I had hit 1K, and then the next morning I was back at 996. So yeah, they've been busting my hump every day. I was at 1K when I got up this morning, and then it went back down again. So what I really need is, I guess, if I boosted up my view times, maybe they would leave the other alone, because they go, hey, look, people are actually watching this dumb old broad. But since I'm only halfway on my view hours, I guess they think it's okay just to keep messing with me. Thank you, Jody. How you doing today, hon? We're just finishing up the absolute worst box of pennies in my box searching history. I have actually gone through all the rolls for Wheaties and that kind of thing. Now I'm just looking for, like, sorting out the 82s and the coppers, and I'm on the last roll of the box right now. So once I finish looking at these, I'll be able to do a tally of how much copper was in here and what, if anything, we found that was worth saving, which really hasn't been much. And we did find a couple funny things. Yeah, I did get one funny one that I saved under the miscellaneous. Okay, we're looking for a DDODO. I don't see any doubles. Bye-bye. 75 in the copper hopper. 97. Oh, we're almost there, folks. We're almost there. 70-90 copper hopper. 77 copper hopper. 007 nothing. 78 in the copper hopper. 85 in the nothing. The little trash can. I found these little car trash cans at the dollar store. Yeah. Yep. That's where I put coins that I'm not keeping. They go in the little trash cans. Different colors for different coins till I get them rolled up. Special bin for the 82s and some 83s on the side that I gotta check for something. Haven't found anything for my friend Doug Harding today. He's got me saving a special year for him. Didn't find him anything. No white AMs there. Come back here, you. Look for a white AM. I have never found one. I don't know why I even look. I guess because the one day I don't look, that'll be the one I accidentally throw in the tub and send back to the bank. Copper. Two of those in a row. Oh, my elbow. I'm leaning on it. And I think I got about 30 pennies left to look at here, and then we can wrap this box up and get rid of it. Copper. Junker. Another junker. Another one. 82. Yeah, I got a whole thing of 82s one of these days. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna do a retro 82 show. Copper, that's a pretty nice looking one actually. No white AM on that. And I'm still working on getting the packages sent out. Got a couple more done last night. They won't go out until Monday, but I'm getting them done. And some of you may remember the other day I said I was kind of on my soapbox about people bugging me about the packages. And I explained again the mailing schedule and all of that. And I made the comment, please stop mailing me about, have I sent your package out yet? I have had people that have asked me 10, 12 times now, have I sent their package? And the remark that I made was, the next time you do it, your package is going to the end. Because I've explained multiple times in the stream, in a video, on the community page, how the package mailing was going to be done. And heaven forbid that I should be tardy for having influenza A and COVID. so excuse the F out of me. Well, don't you know, I got 2 mails this morning asking me if I had mailed people's packages yet. So, sorry. Every time you ask me, I'm moving yours further back because I have repeatedly told everybody this is how it's working. When I send your package out, I will be posting on the community page and on my stream whose packages went out. And if there is any problem with your package, like I don't have your address or whatever, that information will also be posted. And I'll be darned if I didn't get 2 more of them this morning. Oh, yours is already gone, James. Yours is on its way. You were on the list I posted a couple of days ago. Remember, because I asked you to clarify for me which address you wanted me to use? Yours is already gone. But it's just frustrating because I almost died and somebody's concerned about where their package is. Come on, grow up. Especially because I have addressed the issue multiple times in multiple ways. That tells me, one of the things that tells me is you're not watching my videos. Because if you had been watching the videos, you would already know the answer to where is your package. Yeah. Oh. And I try to be nice about it, and I have told these people multiple times, you know, I'm just doing them. I pick one up out of the box and I do it. And then I pick another one up out of the box and I do it. I'm not doing them in any particular order. I am doing them by how much money do I have in my shipping account. Like if I've got a big box, like there's a couple of them cost $13, $14 each to mail. I may have to set that one aside and do $3, $4 ones instead. Yeah, it's in the outgoing mail. That's exactly where it is. But heaven forbid that I should be a few days tardy because I had COVID. But the bottom line is quit asking. You know, if I get to the point where I say everybody's package has been mailed out 2 weeks ago and you don't have yours, then yeah, ask me. But, you know, I have told, there's 2 or 3 that keep doing this, and I have told them I'll send you a tracking number. You know, when you get the tracking number, then you know it's on its way. Most of you guys, I don't have to send a tracking number. You know, eventually I'm gonna get it there. One of them even said, I don't think you've sent out a single package. And I told them, well, you better go over and watch Johnson Family Adventures from yesterday, because they actually opened their package on their live stream. So if you don't think I'm sending them out, how did she get hers? You know, I mean, I know people that have said I got my package, been in the stream and said I got my package yesterday, thank you. So they're going out, they're just not going out to, I waited on purpose because the contest wasn't over until after my mail out deadline for January. So I told everybody it's going to be starting around February the 5th when these things start getting mailed out. Well, then I got COVID. You know, I wasn't really counting on that. But, and it sure wasn't any fun, and I was still trying to get over the flu. And I was in the hospital for both of those things. I'm like, people, you know what? You got this stuff for free. For free. You didn't buy these things. I gave you these things. And I'm paying the postage on them. I did have some donations to help with the postage, but I think I had $65 in donations for postage to mail out almost $300 worth of postage. So, do not get the old lady cranky when she's giving you something for free. And then I can tell you haven't been watching the channel since you won the prize, because you keep asking where the prize was, and if you were watching the channel, you would know where your prize is. Oh, it's just so, yeah. But anyway, I am working on them. That's the other reason I'm trying to get my desk cleared off, is I have such a small space to work in. It's not like when I lived down in Georgia and I had like this whole little utility room that I had converted into my computer and YouTube studio space. I mean, I am wedged into 5 feet by 4 feet, maybe. And that's for my computer, my printer, all my coin stuff, all my, my scale, everything. So in order to do one thing, I have to do it and then tear that down and do something else. I don't have the luxury of having everything set up all at once. Just like I don't have a kitchen anymore because my jewelry business and my eBay business own my kitchen. I have a little tiny kitchen table under which is all my eBay merchandise. My linen closet has my entire jewelry business crammed in it. I just don't have the kind of space I used to have. Last penny. Whew. From that box. Now, we're gonna see. Let me find my log book here, and I'm gonna log in what we got from this box, so I can get it off my desk. Okay, so let's start off. We didn't even do very well on copper on this one. I put the copper hopper on the scale here. Okay. Wow, we didn't even get a pound of copper on this one. Let me write this down. Box ending 22523. We got a measly. Now this will not count the 82s because they're in a separate bin and I have to go through them. But we only got 15 19.2 ounces. We didn't even get a pound of copper this time. That's puny, as my mom, that was one of my mom's favorite words. Puny. So let me get rid of that. Now, in the 82s and 83s, I have them in a container. 9.3 ounces. Those I will be going through separately. And I have some miscellaneous over here. And what the miscellaneous are, I'm not going to go through all of them, but they are mostly 1960s that may be a better sample than the one in my album. So these are coins that, for whatever reason, I don't know why that 98 is there. Coins that I set aside so I can look in my book, in my albums, and see if they're better than what I have in there. And so I usually just put those in an envelope, which I will do now, and mark it, check the album. And there's probably 25 or so of those. They just happen to be nice looking coins. Most of them are 50s and late 50s, like 59s and 60s that I want to take a look at, just to make sure that I'm keeping the best ones I can in my book. Packages wait. Like I said, James, I'm just, pick them up out of the box and do it. Yeah, I have actually got a copy of Matthew Lesko's book. My problem is, with this situation right now, is time constraints. A lot of these things take months and months and months to get on. But yeah, I'm very familiar with Matthew Lesko. My copy of his book was several years old, so I went down to the library and got the more recent one. Okay, so now this is what I have left on the desk from the box. I'm not sure what all these are. Okay, we got a 74S. Like I said, this box, absolutely the worst in my coin roll hunting histories. This box produced not much. I had a box a couple of months ago I thought was the worst, and then right at the end I found a whole bunch of good things in the last 5 rolls. Yeah, I know he does, but it takes time to process all of those different grants and loans and stuff. But yeah, I'm constantly checking stuff. Okay, so there's one of the Lincoln Life. I've got a few of these. Some of them are better than others. There's another one in the series. That one's a little better than the other one. So there's 3 of those. I have little envelopes I put these in so I can go back and try to find the the better ones. My little nephew, he likes the ones with Lincoln on them. Okay, so I got 3 of those so far. Doing the inventory here. Of the box. See what else is laid out over here. Hey Ross, how you doing, honey? That's just another 60 for me to look at. A lot of these are going to be other things to look at. 5090. I don't know why I've got this 91. Some of them just get up there by accident. Jackalope! Yeah, I haven't done a duck race for a while. Okay, that's a Wheatie. Got a 46 Wheatie. I'll go ahead and do the known Wheaties, because one of them was a good one. There's a 44. I only got like 5. Yeah, this was a goodie here. 1925 Wheatie. Yeah, I wish it didn't have that big slash across the back of it. That's kind of a shame. Then we got a 51D. I said this box just didn't produce much. And a 1955. So that was our Wheaties. Let's see what all this is. Oh, this is another Lincoln Life. Really poor shape. Too bad those were. Oh, and I think we got one Canadian. We got one Canadian penny, 1968. Put that in my Canadian coin box right now, since we're wrapping this stuff up. And let's see what else we got up here. A 69D. I don't know why I kept that. Other than the fact that it's chewed. This one is 1999. Oh. The only reason I would have kept that would have been if it was a wide AM, which it is not. So that just goes in the tub. Like I said, sometimes they just roll up into the space. And there's another Lincoln, that's the log cabin one. So that's 4 from that series. Like I said, this box was sad. We've just got 4 more things to look at. Oh, then I found the Blue Man Group. Somebody painted Lincoln. You can't really see it too well on here, but it is painted like indigo blue. Don't know why. And that's a miscellaneous. Now, I'm saving the best miscellaneous one for last because it's kind of funny. We did get a good laugh out of it. And a 99D, and I don't know why we saved that. I don't see any. I don't see anything on there. Nope, I really don't see anything there. Like I said, my workspace is so small that sometimes things just get... Oh, we got another Canadian. So we must have gotten 2 Canadians. What's this one? 1975. Okay. And now we're down to the last one. Let me put this in the candidate box. And then we're going to get our laugh of the day. Let's label this. We found this penny with a sticker on it. Now, it's a crappy zinc penny. Yeah, which y'all know I hate zinc pennies and shield pennies, but we thought this was pretty funny. A crappy US penny with a sticker on it that says made in Hong Kong. And it probably was. That was like the high point of the box right there, folks. So this really was the crappiest box. For real. Absolutely for real. So our total of anything worth a darn, we had 15.2 ounces of copper. We had 9.3 ounces of 1982, 1983s. We had 1 S penny from 1974. We had 5 pennies from the Lincoln Life series. We had 5 Wheaties, a 46, a 44, a 25, a 51D, and a 55. 2 Canadian pennies, a 68 and a 75. A penny where Lincoln was painted blue, and a penny with a sticker on it that said made in Hong Kong. So, yeah, now we know who really makes them. Yep. So that was the absolute, by far, crappiest penny box in the history of my channel. And I'm not going to start the other one for probably another week. I'm so over how bad this box was and how long it took me to work my way through it because of the COVID and the flu and all that mess. been working on that box, I think, since October because of me getting sick. And because the box just was so crappy, I got to a point where I didn't even want to work on it. It was just that bad. So I am happy it is gone from my desk, logged in the book, chapter closed. Yay. Okay, there's an empty copper hopper. This can go in my 82 jar. I have a container that is nothing but 82s and 83s for us to sit down one day and I will get the scale set up. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is a container of copper that I need to, that's from the last, no, those are ones I saved for somebody that they said they wanted them and then they didn't want them. I remember this box. So now I got a whole bunch of copper that I don't save copper because I have no room. Okay, got rid of them. Oh, so much fun. There's the 82s. Yeah, I got this huge container of 82 and 83s. I'm going to get the scale out at some point, and we're going to start looking at all the different date sizes and whether they're copper or zincs. Hopefully we'll find a bazillion dollars in there. Yeah. All right. Whee! Okay, these are 82s. Put them in there. Clearing my desk. Oh my goodness. Oops. And a scoopy. That's the lid to the copper hopper. My copper hopper is actually a Country Time lemonade plastic container that I throw copper in, and then at the end of the box I can weigh it and figure out how much the percentage of copper per box is. And I have noticed it is dwindling, so people are starting to hoard it, because I usually have 2 to 3 pounds of copper, and this time I didn't even quite make a pound. Oh, am I back to 1K for like the 1000th time this week? Well, the thing about it is, if you just go and you sign up and you don't post anything, I think they take it away within 48 hours, which I wish they would give you a little more time, and here's why. Sometimes I'll be in a channel and I'll see somebody I want to subscribe to, but I don't want to leave the stream that I'm in right then to go watch a video on their channel. I want to stay in the stream I'm on, and then in the next couple of days I'll go over to that other channel and watch something and make a comment. Well, half the time they have already taken away my subscription before I've even had a chance to do that. They, I don't want, like, let's say I'm watching a video on 710's channel and I see this guy, James Eller, and I decide, well, I want to go join his channel, but I don't want to go over there and watch his video right this minute. I want to finish watching what I'm watching on 710. And then in a couple days, when I got some time, I'll go over and watch the other thing. They don't give you time to do that. It's like, if you subscribe, they want you to stop and post right now. I don't want to go out of somebody else's channel in the middle of their stream to watch a new channel. I'll watch the new one when I get done with watching the other one. And they don't give you a chance to do that. Oh, YouTube is so full of tricks. Yeah, I mean, because I would love it if it would show me in the last 48 hours, you subscribe to this, and this channel. And then I could go, oh yeah, I need to go over there and watch. Because sometimes I'll be in a channel and I'll see 2 or 3 channels that I'm interested in, and I'll run real quick and subscribe to them, and then come back and continue watching, you know, whatever it was I was watching. So, yeah, I don't think they give you enough time. And that's why I think what has been happening to me is I hit 1,000 likes on Monday. Well, by Tuesday, they had taken 4 of them away. So then we hit it again on Tuesday, and they took 2 more away. Every time I get above 1,000, they take 2 or 3 away. And it's frustrating. Well, I have 2 rolls of nickels here. I don't have my nickel bucks out. So all I'm going to do on these, I'm just going to real quick flip through them, see if there's any buffaloes or V-nickels or any super exciting things, and then go back through them later and see if they fit in my album or if they're any kind of exciting thing. I do have a cursory list of nickel things that I made. If I can find it. In my book here. I don't know a lot about nickels. I've always kind of known about pennies. Nickels has not been my area. Okay, here's my nickel list. So let's see if there's anything exciting on it. I've made this from different videos and different books. One of my favorites is Coin Help You. That guy's awesome. But I made a nickel list. I haven't typed it out yet, and I keep adding to it, so it's not necessarily in numerical order. So we'll try and get through these 2. Oh, heaven forbid they would do anything helpful, Furry. Why would they want to actually do something that was supportive of their users? 1990p. There are some 1990s on the list, but P's are not one of them. $1985V. Yeah, like I said, I gotta type this list. what I usually do when I make these lists is I put them in Excel so I can sort them. And that way I can have the date and sometimes where I found that error listed, or where there's a good picture of it, or whether I think it's just BS. But I can sort them all into order after I find them, so that's one of the reasons I use Excel for that. And then I can just print it out. But this one, it jumps from the 60s to 2005, and then back to the 60s, and then the 70s, and then the 50s, and then the 90s, because they're things I found in different sources. And I am trying to organize them so that I know what I'm looking for, because like I said, I do not know. Yeah, my pain level's starting to go too. I just want to get these 2 rolls of nickels done, and then I'm out of here, because I want all these rolled coins off my desk, because I have to do massive amounts of paperwork, and I just simply do not have room. Looking for a D over D, which I get a D over D, but that's what you're looking for there. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a few more. Like I said, I want to get these nickels out of here so I can put all this stuff in the roll it up money, take it back to the bank. 89 something. I know I don't have 89 because I'll probably need all this money to mail all these, a lot of these legal letters I'm gonna have to mail. I'm gonna need return receipts and that kind of stuff. So, and it's the end of the month, so I will probably need to cash this all in to take care of that. I've still got quarters from a while back. Oh, there's a Lewis and Clark. I keep those. Set that aside. Going through these pretty fast. So yeah, we're gonna zippy through here as fast as I can, and then I got lots of other projects. I gotta go drive my car. Baby, you can drive my car. Do you still have your old scope stand? I was given a scope that needs a stand. Well, I have it, but it's broken. It really wouldn't help you, James. The only reason I saved it was in case I needed to take the nut and bolt hardware off of it to use on something else. Yeah, I've got them written down, Jackalope. I'm just going through them real fast. But yeah, I've got some that are like in the 2005s and Yeah, like especially on the 2005, there's a couple of different things. There's DDOs. There's where the bison on the back of it has this thing. It looks like a die crack, only it looks like somebody stabbed the buffalo with it. So yeah, I've got them on here. I'm just going through really fast because I'm going to look at these again when I get my books out. But for right now, I'm just giving them the cursory thing so I can get them off my desk. James, I don't think that stand would do you any good. It is broken to the point that it would not even hold either one of the scopes I had. But I'll see if I can find it. Like I said, I mostly kept it to see if the knobs and stuff would fit on this one in case I needed a spare or something. I have a tendency to strip hardware off of things before I throw them away because you never know. One time I took a nut and bolt off of a broken metal detector that I was trying to fix for a lady, and her kid had dropped it in a pond, so it wasn't fixable. But there were a couple of parts on it that were good that I helped her sell, and I had kept the little nut and bolt that held the coil on. The coil was trashed, but it turned out a guy needed the nut and the bolt, and it was like a $20 part. So, yeah, if he'd ordered it new. So, I had a tendency to keep stuff like that, but if I run across it, I'll see if I can maybe fix it with some Gorilla Glue and duct tape, but that was the whole, it would not hold still enough to keep the scope in focus, which is why Mikey got me this one, because we couldn't keep the coins in focus with the other one. So this thing has been great, and the thing I love about this one, the other one just had like a gooseneck kind of thing, so if you wanted to focus in on something you had to bend the neck down, and that's what broke it, was having to bend that neck down all the time. Okay, we're looking for the D over D, but this is not a D, so at least that one's no good. So anyway, yeah, it would not stay in focus, which was the problem with it. And I thought it was my scope, and Mikey figured out that it was just the stand. So I'm really happy with the stand, by the way. I'll see if I can find out where Mikey got it. I don't think it was real expensive, but I'm sure happy with it. It's awesome. One of the most awesome things about it is that you can raise and lower it easily on your coins. So you can zoom me right in and it stays focused really good. Ooh, 47. Got an older one. I'm gonna set that aside because I don't know. I just started doing nickels not too long ago, so I may need that one. Don't know. I got one more roll of nickels and then I'm gonna quit. Because wow, it's 1:30 already. Okay, let's go through here really quick. Get this off my desk, and then there won't be any more rolls of coins on my desk. Because I'm going to tell you, a couple of times I have been trying to do other things on my desk, and like laid a folder with papers in it over a roll of coins. And then I didn't remember that it was under there, and the roll of coins comes tumbling down and bounces off my foot and hurts like a bear. So I have learned, do not try to do any work on my desk with rolled coins, because they will find my foot and hurt me. So I'm making sure I get all of them off my desk before I start this other project. Oops, there's one with the buffalo, but he doesn't have anything stabbing him through the back. However, also gotta look for a DDO on the front. Don't see anything there, but I'm gonna keep the buffalo anyway, just in case somebody needs one. Don't need that. Ooh, that one's already turned green. These are mostly new guys here. My organ dollars just over the hell. Wow. Double whammy there, Jack. I never find good stuff like that. But when I first started out doing the car wash quarters, I found a few cool things. I found several W's, and I found a couple of French coins that were the size of US quarters. And I found a couple silvers. But I don't find much anymore. There's so many people doing coin roll hunting now. It's very, very difficult to find a treasure. Everything is picked. I get excited now if I even find. Oh yeah, James, that stand was awful. It was so bad, and I had it taped to the mat, and then I had this great big Michigan George Romney medal from 1964 sitting on the back of it, just to hold it where it would stand up straight. Oh, it was horrible. I was so happy when Mikey bought me that new one for Christmas and told me to open it before Christmas so I could use it for the 12 Days of Christmas thing. So I actually opened it on Christmas Eve and got it all set up so we could use it. But yeah, it was awful. And like I said, I thought it was my scope at first. And then I realized if I held the thing just the right way, everything would focus for a couple of minutes. And then it had a wire that went down through the gooseneck for the light, and the wire was cracked, and I had electrical tape around it. Yeah, it was truly a vision of ugliness. So, now about the last 5 or 6 nickels. Most of these were new ones in here. Wasn't much. what to get excited about. Oops. I still have a box that has a bunch of nickels. We'll work on them next week. Okay, what's going on? A lot of 1990s, but none of the people are involved. See that on the list. And the very last one. Out he goes. Alright. 2 rolls of nickels off the desk. Since I didn't take, I only took 3 out. I took, yeah, 3 out. So if I add 3 back in, I can roll that right back up when I'm done looking at it. Alrighty. I'm tired, people. I've been on here 2.5 hours. Whew. So, yeah. We gone. Go work on something else for a while. Have me some lunch. Run down to my storage. If the weather looks halfway decent, I'll take the detector and hit the tot lot at the school on the way home. I haven't even looked at the temperature. And then when I come back, I'll work on some more packages. Get them cleared away, so tomorrow when I start working on paperwork, I won't have any of that stuff in my workspace. So, I thank y'all. I might come back on later with an update of who else's packages are ready to go out in the mail. Thanks for hanging with me. I appreciate it. Let's try to keep me over that 1K. I did tidy up some of the playlists, so if you want to help give some view hours, go turn on one of my playlists and take your nap and just let her run. You can watch with one eye open. Alrighty, thanks a lot, everybody. We will see you soonly. I appreciate your support. Bye.